This, ladies and gents, is the JiaFour luggage rack, which I've bought myself, a little treat from eBay. Now, obviously, me being a jock, I'm quite tight, I want to get bang for my buck, so yeah, I've not gone for one of the usual obvious brands. We'll see how it fits. I've kind of held it up to the bike already and there may be an issue, but we'll get to that. Yeah, well, compared with SW Motech or something like that, yeah, the welds ain't as neat and tidy. And I've noticed in the air there's a little bit of buckling in the tubing. I'm guessing it was joined there. But, you know, it's a basic rack, which is all I want, and it's universal. So I'll be able to fit more than one style of bag on here, which leaves my options open. So here's the problem. The JiaFour rack is specified on eBay to fit this model bike, Scrambler 800, but it doesn't say whether that includes the desert sled or not. So there may be an issue. When I've offered it up to the mounting points, it's, you'll notice there, coming up against the indicator, but it does depend on the angle that this ends up sitting in once it's bolted in place. If it's here at this angle, we don't have a problem. If it's further down, you see there it's rubbing. So the only way to find out for sure is to actually mount it, which means I've got to drop this seat unit and the under tray. And here's what we're left with. So, also included with your kit, you've got M8 and M10 bolts, and if you've watched the previous video you'll know that this bike is the M10 version. Hex bolt 6. I'll offer that up first. There we go for now. There was a bit of toing and froing. You just kind of have to go back and forth between both of those and it will pull itself into position. I might get away with this. There is a bit of an angle on there. Here's hoping. I'll get back to you in a minute. I think we're going to get away with it. That's just the M6 bolts in place. I've got to tighten everything up yet, so it's close, but I think we're going to do this. There we go. So the most difficult part of all of this was getting that damn hex bolt back in there. It's quite recessed, so in the end I had to use a combination of a little hex and a socket. That gave me enough room there to tighten it by hand before finishing it off with Torx bit. It was the only way I could reach that far in. It's quite an awkward depth and angle to get to, so if you've got one of those bendy adapters, you might be better using one of those, but I don't have one. There we go, I'm quite happy with that. Amazing that at first I was sure it wouldn't fit, but in the end it did. This gap could be better. I may put a bit of foam or tape in here just to stop it rubbing. I do want to replace these with something smaller, so it's a non-issue at the moment. Next, we just need to get some bags sorted out.